People who use humor in the workplace are more productive, less stressed, and happier. I've always been obsessed with efficiency, and I'm very much an engineer. And ever since I can remember, I've tried to do things as efficiently as possible. Really since before I can remember, because I was born 3 weeks early. So apparently even in the womb, I was like, I don't need a full 9 months. I'm ready to go right now. Let's do this, Mom. You guys would have heard about that if I came out like that, right? In school, I decided that smart for me was getting a 93% in all of my classes, because a 93% was the lowest grade you could get and still get an A. It got to the point that if I got a 94, 95, or a 100%, I was upset, because it meant that I did more work than I had to do.
The problem with people in the corporate world is they are so focused on the bottom line that they just focus in on efficiency. Just because something is efficient doesn't mean that it's effective. Just because something saves time, it doesn't mean that it actually gets results.
As a humor engineer, I teach people how to be more effective using humor. So it's about the effectiveness first, and the tool that we use, the way that we get there is using humor.
83% of Americans are stressed out at work. 55% of Americans are unsatisfied with their jobs, and 47% of Americans struggle to stay happy. Of course, it's even worse in Disney World, where statistically, only 1 out of 7 dwarfs are happy. But it still leads to 70% of the workforce being disengaged. U.S. companies lose about $500 billion every single year in lost productivity.
The current way of working isn't actually working. When you consider that the average person will spend 90,000 hours in their lifetime at work, you start to realize that the current way of living isn't really living.
When we talk about humor that works, we're talking about a way of working that is different, effective, and fun. But the reason why I care about it as a project manager is because it actually works. Humor helps to get people to listen, it increases long-term memory retention, improves understanding, it aids in learning, it helps communicate messages, it diffuses conflict, builds trust, brings people closer together. It goes on, and on. And these are all backed by research, case studies, and real-world examples.
Andrew is not only funny, he actually has a message that comes across with purpose. The humor that he brought to us made the learning experience so much more rich and complete.
When we think of humor, a lot of times people are intimidated because like, oh, that means I have to try to be really funny. That means I have to tell a joke, and that's not the case. It's doing something a little bit differently to maybe get people to smile, not just laugh.
To use humor effectively doesn't mean that you necessarily have to be the creator of the humor. Instead, you can be the conduit of humor. You can share things out, right? You can send an email and at the bottom of it include a link to a funny video or an image that you found online. Humor is a skill, which means it can be learned. Part of the power of the programs that I bring is that, one, they're going to be fun, right? People are going to enjoy it. They're going to have a good time. But more importantly, they get permission to use humor, and they see the power and the impact that it has on an organization.
If you work an average of 40 hours per week, that's 33.6% of your adult life spent at work. The truth is that every single day you choose if you're going to be more productive and less stressed. You choose if you're going to do the things that will get you paid more. And you choose if you're going to be happy. With 1/3 of your life on the line, why not choose humor at work?